Okay, so we are opened up to page 561 and 562 to correct last night's homework. So here is 561. We had numbers 3 through 9 on this page. So they did give you a model to help you on number 3 if you wanted to. You didn't have to use it. So when we take 5 and we divide it by 1/3, we turn 5 into a whole number, 5 over 1. Then we keep it at 5 over 1. We change the division symbol to multiplication, and we flip 1/3 into 3 over 1. So we have 5 over 1 times 3 over 1, which gets us 15 over 1, or just 15. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 3 correct. Nice, 5th grade. So then we had number 4. So for number 4, I see a whole number. So automatically we would turn that into a fraction, 6 over 1. So I would keep 1/2 the same, change the division symbol to multiplication, and flip 6 over 1 into 1 over 6. So we would have 1 over 2 times 1 over 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 6 is 12. And we can't simplify anymore, so 1/12 for number 4. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 4 correct. Awesome. Then we had number 5. So number 5, I see the whole number 2. So first step, convert it to a fraction. Instead of 2, it is now 2 over 1. I keep the first fraction the same, 1/5. I change my division symbol to multiplication, and then my 2 over 1 becomes 1 over 2, so that I have 1 over 5 times 1 over 2. Well, 1 times 1 is 1, 5 times 2 is 10, and I can't simplify anymore, so 1/10 for number 5. Give me a thumbs up if you got 1/10 for number 5. Awesome, 5th grade. And then we had number 6. So again, whole number 3, turn it into 3 over 1. It needs to be a fraction. I keep 1/8 the same, change my division symbol into multiplication. 3 over 1, I flip it so that it becomes 1 over 3. So I have 1 over 8 times 1 over 3. Well, 1 times 1 is 1. 8 times 3 is 24. I can't simplify it anymore, so 1/24 for number 6. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 6 correct. Awesome. We have 3 more. Number 7, I have the whole number 8. So I convert that into a fraction by turning it into 8 over 1. I keep 1/7 the same. I change my division symbol into multiplication. And then 8 over 1, I need to flip it. So then it's 1 over 8. So I have 1 over 7 times 1 over 8. 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 8 is 56. I can't simplify it anymore, so then I have 1/56. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 7 correct. Awesome. Last 2 for this page. I have the whole number 5. I would turn that into a fraction by making it 5 over 1, or 5 ones. I would keep 5 over 1 the same. I would change my division symbol into multiplication, and then I would flip 1 over 5 into 5 over 1. So I would have 5 over 1 times 5 over 1. That would get me 25 over 1, or the whole number 25. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 8 correct. Nice, 5th grade. And then our last one on this page, number 9. So looking at number 9, I automatically see I have a whole number 9. So I need to turn that, or convert it into a fraction by making it into 9 over 1. So I would keep 1/3 the same. I would change my division symbol into multiplication, and then I would flip 9 over 1 into 1 over 9. So then I would have 1 over 3 times 1 over 9. Well, 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 9 is 27. Can't simplify it anymore, so it's 1/27. Give me a thumbs up if you got number 9 correct. Now give me a thumbs up if you got all the problems on 561 correct. Nice work, 5th grade. All right, let's look at 562. Books should be away. This is not a time for reading, it is math. All right, so we then have 13 and 15. So here they are. Now again, for 13, they gave you a number line. You didn't have to use it unless you wanted to. It said that Cynthia has a piece of wood that is 6 feet long. She cuts it into half-foot pieces. How many pieces does she have? Use the number line to help you solve the problem. Again, you could use it if you wanted to. So this is another time when we could use split between. We are, or no, actually not split between, excuse me. But we are taking a 6 foot long piece of wood and we need to divide it into half-foot pieces. So we would take 6 and divide it by 1/2. Some of you may have thought, well, I know that there are 2 halves in 1 foot, so if there's 2 halves in 1 foot, how many halves would be in 6 feet? And so then you might have come up with 12 as your answer that way. Some of you may have written out the problem. 6 divided by 1/2. So then you would have turned 6 into 6 over 1, kept it the same, changed the division problem into multiplication, and then your 1/2 you would have flipped into 2 over 1. So you'd have 6 over 1 times 2 over 1, which gets you 12 over 1 or 12. Now, for your unit, pieces, you should at least have the word pieces. If you put 12 pieces of wood, that's a very specific, awesome unit. As long as you have at least 12 pieces, that would work. Are there questions on number 13? Will, what's your question?
I did 12 1/2 of a foot.
Oh, 12 1/2 foot pieces? Yeah. That works. Addie?
I did 12 square foot pieces. Does that work?
That wouldn't work because we only use like square when we're talking about the area of something. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. All right, then, oh, give me a thumbs up if you got number 13 correct. You got 12. Okay. Now, number 15. So number 15 said, suppose a wind turbine requires 1/6 square mile of land. How many turbines can be built on 8 square miles of land? So what we're doing is we want to see how many 1/6 square miles of land are within 8 square miles of land. So we would take 8 and divide it by 1/6. So 8 would be turned into 8 over 1. It'd be 8 divided by 1/6. So 8 over 1 would, for 8, we would change our division symbol to multiplication, and then our 1/6 would be flipped into 6 over 1. So we have 8 over 1 times 6 over 1, which would get us 48 over 1, or 48. And your unit should be wind turbines because they want to know how many turbines can be built. If you said 48 turbines, that would work. Wind turbines is even more specific. Yes, Richie?
I got 148. You multiplied it.
You sure did. Oh, wait.
I multiplied 1/6 by 8.
Yep, you were supposed to remember we were dividing 8 by 1/6. So we have to flip that second fraction. So 1/6 would become 6 over 1.
Oh!
Yeah.
I looked at it and said I mixed it.
You mix it, yeah. Yep, exactly. So you weren't so you flipped it around, Richie. Okay. Any questions on number 15? Give me a thumbs up if you got number 15 correct. Okay. All right, 5th grade. Show me on your hand 1 through 5. How did you feel about this homework assignment as a whole? How did you feel about it as a whole? 1 through 5, how did you feel? All right, Addie, 1 through 5. Zoe, 1 through 5. Okay. Hands down. All right, what I'd like you to do is you are going to open up to your, open up your workbook to page, I'm going to bring it up right now. Okay. Start on 513. Open up to 513 and I'll show you what we're doing. It's not. There's a lot of sets, but there's only like 1 to 3 problems per set. So open up to page 513. Okay, so to prepare for our math test next Tuesday, I still have the recording going so that our virtual learners know what to do. To prepare for our math test next Tuesday, you are going to be going through set A, B, D, E, F, G on pages 513 through 516 and completing these numbers in each set. This is for multiplying fractions. Once you're done with these sets, then you will go to page 577 and you will complete some problems from set A, B, C, and D on dividing fractions. You may work with your partner during this, but you need to make sure you help each other and don't just copy each other or give them the answer. This is supposed to be practice so we shouldn't just be giving answers. Does everyone see the note in blue? Okay, when you are done, you should be bringing your workbook to the back counter and checking your answers in Missy's book. My virtual learners, I will post the answers, but you shouldn't be looking at the answers until you are done with all of your sets. I want all eyes back here on the back counter. Right now, I have my book open to pages 513 through 516. Do you see the yellow tabs over here? So, I have one yellow tab on 513 through 516. When you're done checking those, go to the second yellow tab, flip it, and that is where 577 to 578 is. Now, if you come back here and it's already on 577 to 578, then you'll just go back to the first tab to view the multiplying fractions answers. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. What should you do if some of them are incorrect? What should you do? Rework the problem, then check again. What should you do if they are all correct? Read, write, draw, work on homework, or you can keep working on art if you need to finish it. Or your math review sheet, yes. So that would go with homework, Chanel, but thank you for pointing it out. Are there any questions? Okay, so my in-person learners, you can work with your partner, or you can work on your own. My virtual learners, obviously work on your own. When you're done, you can look at the answers that I have posted on our posts today.